With all the news and uncertainty surrounding us at the moment, if you applied to university for 2020, you might be thinking, what now? The key message from the universities and the university's minister is to carry on as usual. So, here's a reminder of some key dates. If you applied via UCAS by the 15th of January, you've probably started receiving some decisions by now. And you should have received all of these decisions by the 20th of May. If you receive all of these offers on or before June 4th, you should respond by making your firm choice and insurance choice by June 18th. Don't rush into making these decisions too quickly. Take a day or two to think about it. Talk it through with your family and friends. The next deadline after this one is the student finance deadline. Hopefully you've already made these applications, but if not, be sure to get them in by the 22nd of May to ensure that it is all processed in time for the payments to be made for your start date. Use your first choice on the application and you can adjust this later if necessary. Don't panic if you do or have missed the May 22nd deadline. You can still apply, but just be aware that it is not guaranteed that the payments will be processed in time for your course start date. If you haven't made a UCAS application already, you can apply via the usual process up until the 30th of June, and you should expect to have your decisions by the 13th of July, to which you should respond by July 20th. If you have included all 5 choices on your application, have received decisions from all 5, and weren't accepted, or if you declined the offers you received, you will be able to use Extra to apply for an additional choice. The Extra tool is open now, has been open from the end of February, and will be open till the 5th of July. Bear in mind, if you did not use all your choices in your initial application, you can just add another choice in track as long as it is before the 30th of June. And as long as you've not accepted or declined any offers. Remember, if you originally only applied to one choice and want to add more now, you will be asked to pay an extra £5 in track. After July 5th, additional choices must be made through clearing, which opens on the 6th, where you can start searching all clearing vacancies. The 13th of August is Results Day, which we'll talk a bit more about later. On Results Day, you will be notified of your status in track and adjustment will open. So this means if you exceed your offer requirements, you may be able to change your course through adjustment if you would like to. The 21st of September is the absolute final deadline for all undergraduate UCAS applications, and you must have added all clearing choices in track by the 20th of October for universities to accept applicants via clearing. Whilst you're waiting for Results Day, universities want to keep the admission cycle as normal as possible. So whilst you may start your course slightly differently than expected, perhaps online, you don't want to be in a situation where universities are open for business and you've missed out on key things like finance and accommodation. So, as a priority, if you haven't done so already, get your student finance application in. Do this on the basis of your first choice, and again, you can adjust this later if necessary. And don't panic if you do or have missed the May 22nd deadline. You can still apply, but be aware, again, like I said, it's not guaranteed that the payments will be processed in time for your course start date. And if this is the case, you may be paying for some things out of pocket. If your tuition fees are being paid for via student finance, then let the university finance team know as soon as possible if student finance is delayed. Secondly, choose your accommodation. This is really important if you're wanting to stay in halls of residence, as these places are usually awarded on a first come, first served basis. So make sure you're ready to apply as soon as the university portal opens. For some universities, you may not be able to apply it unless you have made them a firm or insurance choice. So in the meantime, do some research. Most universities will have virtual tours of their accommodation available online. Another thing you can do whilst you're waiting is to make sure that you've met the other conditions of your offer. You might not have any, but you may have been asked to have a telephone or video interview. You may have been asked to send in an audition tape or a portfolio of work. And although rare, you might have been asked to take an admissions test, so make sure you get those sorts of things done. So make sure you're responding to your offers in time with your deadline. Again, don't rush. However, if you do receive all of your offers on or before June 4th, you will be expected to respond by the 18th of June, excluding if you've applied through Extra. If you receive your last decision on or before the 13th of July, you must respond by the 20th of July. If you're not entirely sure which universities you're going to make your firm and insurance choices for yet, chat to existing students via Unibuddy. That's a new UCAS tool, and you'll find that on their website. Here you can find out more about student life and gain a student's perspective on the university experience. Or just browse the university websites. So when the day is finally here, what do you do? So on the 13th of August, your calculated grades will be released. If you are not able to collect your results from school, you will be sent them either by post or online. But either way, these calculated grades will have already been sent to UCAS and they will have been added to your application, and your firm and insurance choices will have been notified. And so, as usual, you will be able to find out from the morning of the 13th as to whether you have met the conditions of your offers. So keep checking track, and hopefully you can spend the rest of the day celebrating. But if you don't get the news you were hoping for, you can still apply to another course or go to university through clearing. More information can be found on the UCAS website. We understand that this is a confusing and stressful time, and that you would have been working really hard to prepare for your summer exams that you are now not able to take. If you are concerned about receiving calculated grades, bear in mind that schools have been asked to give the best possible estimates, thinking about all the circumstances. Examples will be moderating. Universities are aware of the general situation, but if there are any mitigating circumstances or additional information that your school might have not been aware of that might have affected your situation, your performance, and ultimately your grade, contact universities now to make them aware of it. If you're really still not happy about your grade, there will most likely be an autumn examination process for you to sit the exam if you would like to, or you can resit them in 2021. And as always, there is an appeals process in place. We hope this presentation has been useful, and we wish you all the best. If you need more help, there's loads of information available on the UCAS website, and you can also follow them on Twitter or Facebook for updates. Remember to keep checking your emails for updates from UCAS or your university choices. And in the meantime, if you feel like you might benefit from some tailored impartial advice, you're welcome to email us at Connexions. That's connections@southend.gov.uk.